Anin bojo gigin wa mijap do kwe and go gae maingan and do dam kitchen mamana sing and don't jaba gagage made and shnabe kwe and dow Misigo pane de ben dogos yan get sing and shinabig up to go to me go twin don uh ga kinagego ga kinagego ingi kendamana Anishinaabe Bamazo and Anishinaabe Jatawan Mikwinamagno gom ga kina and gil Kichiminising on Don Kopchignak ga maja jek and mud bawada waso de Gunajoinge Pane dash Nimikwinamaga gay winawa Nui Jaganashim. Hello everybody. I just wanted to acknowledge our ancestors that are sitting over there in that most beautiful place, you know, and how proud they must be. How proud they must be to look and see the life that we have as Chimnasing and Anishinaabe. I think of them first when I do anything because it's because of them that we have life today. It's because of them that we persevered on through everything the Canadian government has thrown at us. Every child targeted assimilation policy, every legislation, everything that they've done. You know, we still come together as a people, no matter what. And I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of being Chiminising and Anishinaabe. Sorry, I didn't want to cry. I was not going to try and cry, but I'm really, really thankful to stand in front of my community. Once again, I've been here before a couple of times, you know, and I didn't get elected. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to run again, but I'll try it out. We'll see where it goes, you know. But I left my community 7 years ago and I pursued an education. I got a college diploma in Anishinaabe. I finished a bachelor's degree in political science. I'm a Master of Education candidate. I'm going to finish my master's in August. It's going to be done. And I'm probably going to do a doctorate later. And I'm a straight A student. My degree is an honors degree in advanced standing. My diploma was also advanced standing. I'm also a student at the University of Minnesota, where I take the Ojibwe language bachelor's degree program. So language and culture is my strength, but also healing. And when I was asked to run, I just want to take a moment to thank my nominators. You know, I was totally like, you know, wondering. Our elders always tell us when you get that education, you got to come home and share it with the people. You got to come home, you know, and work for our community. And I was actually starting to think, I think I'm done with academia now. They're kind of just beating me down now. I want to get out of there. So I decided to run. And so I want to thank my nominators, Clayton and Karen, and thank you for having belief in me. You know, I really cherish that. I value that. Also want to thank our staff, all of our BFN staff, that how much they've done for this community, for being the backbone of our operations. You know, seeing the beautiful infrastructure that is going up, the roads, the docks, everything that they've done, you know, the health and healing programs and the cultural programs that are progressing our community. You know, we've seen an intense shift in priorities and identity, I think, in the last few years on Chiminising, and we need to keep rolling with that. You know, we need to keep growing that. We're always going to continue to grow and evolve. And so I'm really grateful to all of our staff who managed us through a pandemic, you know, and knowing that previous pandemics that in Canada, they wiped out 50% of our community members in some communities here on this side of the border. So it was tough work for them. So I just want to acknowledge that. So just most of you know who I am, and I was going to share a screen, but I just want to talk a little bit about what my guiding principles are and why and how I operate the way that I do, right? My sister, Wabanung Shelby, she once told me that our greatest strength as Anishinaabe is not the land, it's not the water, it's our people. Our people is our greatest strength. It's our human potential and our human capacity. And when one Anishinaabe person is suffering or sick, we limit that human capacity. If they're struggling with mental health and addictions, we limit our capacity as a community. You know, we know that we're still coming out of there, as Marla said so eloquently, you know, talking about intergenerational trauma and shifting to intergenerational resiliency. You know, I really like that. I really enjoy that, because I think, you know, we're on the same page. You know, many of us as candidates, we're all on the same page. We're thinking the same way. Any one of these candidates here will be a good candidate. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind about that. We need more leaders. We need more leaders than less leaders. So I really, really believe that, you know, we need to work for everyone. I also believe in the principle that we need to be included in everything that happens on our territory, including off reserve. Any sort of developments or anything that happens on our territory, we need to be a part of that. You know, I hear stories about people digging things up and they find bones of our ancestors and they just toss them aside. You know, we can't allow that to happen. We need to be the ones to protect the lands, to protect the waters. So, and I think I've kind of did that with Site 41, but you know, like I was a part of that. Still kind of living by that, right? Wherever we walk on our territory, you know, we're Williams Treaty, our identity as Anishinaabe needs to be reflected back to us. Our language needs to be reflected back to us wherever we walk, and we take pride in that. So I was running basically on a couple of different principles. So health and wellness is one of my priorities, economic restructuring and governance, as well as Anishinaabe education systems. I have time to maybe touch on 3 tonight within 10 minutes, so I'm going to do that quickly. One of the things I want to see within governance is, obviously everybody wants more accountability. We all want more accountability, you know, but it's putting those mechanisms in place for accountability to happen, right? In order to ensure that we're all being accountable and transparent, including myself. You know, I have to include myself in that. Am I running out of time?
Just 2 minutes.
Okay. Working towards self-government, continuing the work of the election code, establishing processes for complaints and resolutions, monitoring, responding to threats to our inherent rights, revisiting the work of the governance committee, continuing the work of the membership code, including legal analysis and community consultation, exercising free, prior, and informed consent, ensuring the duty to consult and accommodate is adhered to. Just quickly on health and wellness, I was one of the founders of the Hope and Healing strategy, and I acknowledge that that strategy failed. And I acknowledge that that strategy failed. Why did it fail? Because it was crisis oriented. It was not a long-term strategy. And so what I want to do is I want to come in and spend the next 4 years working towards a health and wellness strategy. I've met with doctors in the area in the last couple of weeks who are ready to get on board with this. They want to see BFN flourish, and they want to put everything behind it. What does that look like? We'll continue with some of the work with what was started with Hope and Healing, because then it's not a waste. We're not throwing it away. We recognize that our community is collectively recovering from the effects of child-targeted assimilation policies. Healing and wellness must be a priority both on and off reserve. Indigenous peoples are overly represented in the criminal justice system. We have to be cognizant of that. We have to try to deter as much as possible our people from getting criminal records. You know, and there's the ways that we can do that using restorative justice frameworks and healing frameworks. Spend 4 years developing a 25-year strategy to be able to do this, ensuring that members are properly informed and consulted about every single step of the way. Harm reduction, opioid treatment on reserve. And I say that because there's a lot of narratives that say that, oh, it's never going to work here. But I've met with doctors who practice in this, who've implemented harm reduction and opioid treatment on reserve, such as Suboxone and methadone, in communities way farther north than us and in communities way, way worse off than us. And they've been successful. Gaps in services, support for families at all stages of the child welfare system, a criminal justice strategy that includes policies for restorative justice frameworks and development develops policies where BCRs can be used in place of when band members are going to be BCR officer. So that's as far as I got. Miigwech, thank you for your time, and please feel free to reach out and